Hi, I'm Nick Ross for iTWire. I'm at the Dell Technologies Forum with the citizens of the Great Barrier Reef. Hi, could you all please introduce yourselves?
Hi there, I'm Ben Bozzo and I am the Impact and Communications Director at Citizens of the Great Barrier Reef.
Hello, I'm Aruna Koluru, Chief Technologist for AI at Dell.
And I'm Andy Ridley, I'm the CEO of Citizens of the Great Barrier Reef.
So I guess first of all, could you tell us about the citizens of the Great Barrier Reef?
Shall I do that? Yeah, no worries. So Citizens is based up in Cairns on the Great Barrier Reef, and what we're really doing is trying to develop a 21st century conservation organisation really powered by the citizens on the reef and people all over the world.
Okay, and what is the Great Barrier Reef Census?
So a lot of people will have heard of the big bleachings that happened on the Great Barrier Reef back in 2016 and 2017. Most people will know that reefs are under a lot of threat, particularly from climate change. And one of the things that came out of this, the bleaching, which killed a lot of coral on the Great Barrier Reef, was the need to get broad-scale reconnaissance photographs from as many of this extraordinarily large place as possible. And so the Great Reef Census is that effort. It basically utilises every vessel we can get hold of on the reef. People jump in the water, take 20 photographs along one side of a reef, and then we analyse it. We look to see how much coral there is on that reef. And from that we can work out what's the best ones to protect, which are the ones that are going to be the best at rebooting other reefs that have been damaged. And it's a project that's now going global.
And how is Dell supporting you?
I'll go for that again. Up to you, whatever. Yeah. Right. So the project turned out to be incredibly successful. So successful, in fact, that we had tens of thousands of images coming back from more than 100 vessels going up and down the reef, and we had to analyse them. And so we're trying to work out really how do we do that. And so we worked with Aruna and her team at Dell to develop an AI solution to that, which kind of is a bit of a hybrid between using AI and the human eye to identify the three main types of coral and how much there is on each reef. And it's been an amazing project, and it's allowed us to do something that no one else has done anywhere in the world, which is analyse reefs really, really quickly using citizen scientists from all over the world.
And from the Dell representative, what does this whole kind of exercise and sponsorship mean to Dell?
At a broader perspective, Dell has always been involved in these kind of activities, giving back and caring for the nature. The mission statement itself is to drive human progress with technology, so we are very keen to participate in these kind of activities. And coming back to the project itself, AI has been front and center of this project. Right now, Gen AI is the core technology going everywhere, but what we used in this particular project is called SIGFormers, which is called the Vision Transformers architecture. Transformers is architecture which is behind ChatGPT as well. So it's very similar from a Transformers perspective to really identify these corals.
And how's the census changed over time?
So from the first year, the census has really scaled up conservation impact on the reef. I think in the first year we reached about 150 reefs and we got about 13,000 images. That year we did use Dell Edge devices and we've continued to use those to be able to allow images to be uploaded remotely from very hard to reach places that we're going out to survey. But in that first year, we actually didn't have a deep learning model for the analysis. We actually required citizen scientists and experts who were looking at those images to manually draw around the corals. This was very time consuming. I think we had a 0.8 images per person analysed and about 7 to 8 minutes per image to be analysed if they were able to get through it. So the deep learning model has rapidly accelerated the amount of images that we can get through and also made it much more accessible for everyday people to take part in the conservation. We've just actually run a massive global campaign and we're at 22 images per person and people are getting through an image in under a minute. We've had a school kid that was able to do 900 images, and I think a citizen scientist themselves from one of our partners' staff who has done 5,000 images. So we've really been able to scale up the involvement thanks to the technology and thanks to reaching so many more reefs.
So the thing is that so many people actually want to be involved, and one of the great challenges with conservation in this day and age is to actually go, right, well, how can you, if you're sitting on your couch in New York or on a bus in Indonesia or somewhere in Sydney, how can you be involved in a meaningful way in doing conservation? And this is kind of, I think we've kind of found a way of really tapping into that desire to help. And always remember, we're not trying to design humans out of this. Actually, they're a really key part. If you want to do scalable conservation, you need the technology to help you do it, but you also need people to help you get the scale. So that's, this project's managed to do that.
And how can individual volunteers and companies help with what you're doing?
Well, as we're saying, you basically can go onto the website and analyze images for us. And it's really simple. It's actually quite addictive. It's quite fun. And that's only our kind of first version of it. So we imagine it will get even better as the years go on. But it's really easy. You just go to citizensgbr.org or greatreefcensus.org and just start. And it's really easy.
And are you gamifying and offering any incentives for people to do it on top of the great knowledge that you're actually genuinely helping a great cause?
When you go on, you can basically see where the reef is that you've analysed. We've had some competitions running. A lot of companies are getting their staff to do it as virtual volunteer time, and they're incentivising it, even with in some cases, getting a trip up to the Great Barrier Reef, which is pretty epic. It is, but we're still really early days. I mean, what we know now is we've found a way of doing this successfully and with good results, so really close to as good as the experts can analyse an image. So I think what we've found is a way of mobilising thousands and thousands of people to help conservation, and where we go from here is really up to our imaginations and the help we get from our partners.
So there's levels, categories, right? If you do 5 images, you move into a citizen scientist, and as you do, there are different levels of it.
Cool. And is there anything else you guys would like to add?
I think one thing Andy missed is when I first spoke to him, he said conservation cannot be done by one person or one organization, right? He looks at it from a citizen perspective, right? Everyone on this globe has a responsibility to contribute to it. I just really love that mission of what he has. And this is not the first project. You forgot to mention the Earth Hour.
Oh, Earth Hour, yeah. Well, me and Ben both worked on it, so we both worked on this project Earth Hour, which was the lights out of cities all over the world. But the thing that you learned from that was actually there are hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of people who actually want to help. And what we've done with Census is try and go, okay, we know that there are hundreds of millions or billions of people who want to help. How do we actually do that in a meaningful way? And I think this is the first time we've actually made that work, and it is like the help we're getting from people who are doing analysis is critical to us being able to understand which reefs need more protection. So we've actually built that 21st century conservation approach pretty well.
Great. And Irina and Ben, thank you very much indeed.
No worries.